Well, it's the beginning of week 3, isn't it? 4 weeks to go, and the difficulties and peculiarities of campaigning during COVID are beginning to show. As the opposition leader Anthony Albanese continues to isolate at home with COVID and campaigning paused today for Anzac Day, let's check in for an update on the campaign over the weekend. Our regulars, Jonathan Lee and Trudy McIntosh, are having a bit of a short break. So covering both camps tonight, Labor and Liberal, is Sky News reporter Gabriella Power, who joins us now from Townsville. Well, Gab, you've had a busy couple of days. I watched a lot of your movements with the Prime Minister over the weekend. You certainly got around the country. You were in Darwin today for the Anzac Day commemorations. Give us a sense of where you've been over the weekend.
It's certainly been a busy few days, Peter. The Prime Minister began campaigning over the weekend on the New South Wales Central Coast. Here he was targeting two marginal seats, Robertson and Dobell. He announced $20 million in funding to upgrade local fishing and camping facilities. The Prime Minister on Saturday didn't hold a press conference, though, and avoided questions from journalists that this announcement is pork barrelling. He then made his way to the Northern Territory, touching down in Alice Springs, where he was alongside Country Liberal Party candidate for the Senate, Jacinta Price. Here he made two funding announcements, $14 million to go towards fighting crime in Alice Springs, $300 million for a new hydrogen hub in Darwin. But in Alice Springs, he was targeting the marginal seat of Lingiari. And this is where we really heard the Prime Minister step up his language on national security. This is when he said that it would be a red line for Australia if China was to build a Navy base on the Solomon Islands. Now, last night he flew to Darwin. This morning he attended the dawn service for Anzac Day, paid his respects to fallen soldiers, attended the Anzac Day parade, and then made his way to the pub for a game of two up. We are now in Townsville. He's looking to retain the seat of Herbert. The Liberals hold it by a margin of 8.4%. We don't know at this stage what the Prime Minister's movements will be tomorrow, but it is suspected that he will be visiting the Great Barrier Reef while he is in Queensland.
All right, and the Labor camp, who stood in for Mr Albanese over the weekend?
Anthony Albanese has been out of action, isolating at home due to COVID-19. So Deputy Labor Leader Richard Marles has stepped in. He was in Alice Springs yesterday, in Darwin again today, attending the same dawn service as the Prime Minister and paying his respects. Although campaigning was put on pause today due to Anzac Day services, the issue of national security was once again front and centre. We heard the warning from Defence Minister Peter Dutton that for Australia to preserve peace, it must prepare for war. And the Labor Leader, Richard Marles, or Deputy Labor Leader, I should say, seized on those comments today, saying that words are one thing, action is another. So although campaigning was put on hold today, the issue of national security was front and centre, and it's to be expected that that will be the case over the next few days, Peter.
All right, thank you, Gab. Thanks for your time, and keep up with the travelling.